Prologue. Stories painted on porcelain. Hobbling home under a mackerel sky, I came upon a group of children. They were tossing their toys in the air, by turns telling a story and acting it too. A play about a pretty girl who was scorned by her two stepsisters. In distress, the child disguised herself to go to a ball. There, the great turnabout. She met a prince who adored her and romanced her. Her happiness eclipsed the plight of her stepsisters, whose ugliness was the cause of high merriment. I listened without being observed, for the aged are often invisible to the young. I thought, how like some ancient story this all sounds. Have these children overheard their grandparents revisiting some dusty gossip about me and my kin, and are the little ones turning it into a household tale of magic, full of fanciful touches, glass slippers, a fairy godmother? Or are the children dressing themselves in some older gospel, which my family saga resembles only by accident? In the lives of children, pumpkins can turn into coaches, mice and rats into human beings. When we grow up, we learn that it's far more common for human beings to turn into rats. Nothing in my childhood was charming. What fortune attended our lives was courtesy of jealousy, greed, and murder, and nothing in my childhood was charmed, or not that I could see at the time. If magic was present, it moved under the skin of the world, beneath the ability of human eyes to catch sight of it. Besides, what kind of magic is that, if it can't be seen? Maybe all gap-toothed crones recognize themselves in children at play. Still, in our time, we girls rarely cavorted in the streets. Not hoydens, we. More like grave novices at an abbey. I can conjure up a very apt proof. I can peer at it as if at a painting through the roomy apparatus of the mind. In a chamber, 3 girls, sisters of a sort, are bending over a crate. The lid has been set aside and we are digging in the packing. The top layer is a scatter of pine boughs. Though they've travelled so far, the needles still give off a spice of China where the shipment originated. We hiss and recoil. Ugh! Dung-coloured bugs from somewhere along the silk route have nested and multiplied while the ship trundled northward across the high road of the sea. But the bugs don't stop us. We're hoping to find bulbs for planting, for even we girls have caught the fever. We're eager for those oniony hearts that promise the tulip blossoms. Is this the wrong crate? Under the needles only a stack of heavy porcelain plates. Each one is wrapped in a coarse cloth with more branches laid between. The top plate, the first one, hasn't survived the trip intact. It has shattered in 3. We each take a part. How children love the broken thing. And a puzzle is for the piecing together, especially for the young, who still believe it can be done. Adult hands begin to remove the rest of the valuable Ming dinnerware, as if in our impatience for the bulbs we girls have shattered the top plate. We wander aside into the daylight, paint the daylight of childhood a creamy flaxen colour. 3 girls at a window. The edges of the disc scrape chalkily as we join them. We think the picture on this plate tells a story, but its figures are obscure. Here the blue line is blurred. Here it is sharp as a pig's bristle. Is this a story of 2 people, or 3, or 4? We study the full effect. Were I a painter, able to preserve a day of my life in oils and light, this is the picture I would paint. 3 thoughtful girls with a broken plate, each piece telling part of a story. In truth, we were ordinary children, no calmer than most. A moment later we were probably squabbling, sulking over the missing flower bulbs. Noisy as the little ones I observed today, but let me remember what I choose. Put 2 of the girls in shadow where they belong, and let light spill over the 3rd. Our tulip, our Clara. Clara was the prettiest child, but was her life the prettiest tale? Caspar listens to my recital, but my quavery voice has learned to speak bravely too late to change the story. Let him make of it what he will. Caspar knows how to coax the alphabet out of an inky quill. He can commit my tale to paper if he wants. Words haven't been my particular strength. What did I see all my life but pictures? And whoever taught the likes of me to write? Now, in these shriveled days, when light is not as full as it used to be, the luxury of imported china is long gone. We sip out of clay bowls, and when they crack, we throw them on the back heap to be buried by oak leaves. All green things brown. I hear the youthful story of our family played by children in the streets, and I come home muttering. Caspar reminds me that Clara, our cinder girl, is dead. He says it to me kindly, requiring this old head to recall the now. But old heads are more supple at recalling the past. There are 1 or 2 windows into those far-off days. You've seen them, the windows of canvas that painters work on so we can look through. Though I can't paint it, I can see it in my heart. A square of linen that can remember an afternoon of relative happiness. Creamy flaxen light, the blue and ivory of porcelain. Girls believing in the promise of blossoms. It isn't much, but it still makes me catch my breath. Bless the artists who saved these things for us. Don't fault their memory or their choice of subject. Immortality is a chancy thing. It cannot be promised or earned. Perhaps it cannot even be identified for what it is. Indeed, were Cinderling to return from the dead, would she even recognize herself in any portrait on a wall, in a figure painted on a plate, in any nursery game or fireside story?